Let's take a dive into the Saturday, August 10th card over at Del Mar. Make sure you visit the Del Mar shop at shop.drf.com for past performances, clocker reports, DRF picks each and every day, betting strategies on Saturday. Del Mar race number 1 on Saturday, August the 10th will go at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Keep in mind that Saratoga is canceling Friday. Saturday, they're going to have some adjustments too. So should be a lot of focus in on Del Mar, lots of money pouring in the pools. Race number 1, we kick things off with maiden special weights. These are 2-year-old fillies. I couldn't really get all that creative here. The obvious horses to me seem pretty tough. Power Connection should improve off that debut effort. Lost to a pretty nice horse named AZ Wildcat. You have the one whose debut was good at Santa Anita, and then went over to Churchill in that stakes race behind Vodka with the Twist, who we're going to see a little later on in the stakes on Saturday. Those are the 2 horses to beat. Maybe some value with horses like Amarita, who's a first-timer. I actually preferred Acquitted, who has the race under her, and then the outside horse is the other Baffert first-time starter, Shower. So, yeah, just not really anything all that creative for me, unfortunately, in the opener. Race number 2, the one, What Makes Sammy Run, has some back class, and perhaps with a race that has some speed early on can wake him up a little bit. And this is a horse who was a graded stakes winner and who was really good in turf sprints, and he's just tailed off a bit as of late. But his last effort, when they dropped him down in class, he was a little bit slow. He just never really got into it. Prior to that, his speed figures were still not bad. So I think he may be kind of a bit dismissed in here. I'm going to throw in the 1, What Makes Sammy Run, all over the place. I like the 6 quite a bit, sitting a really nice trip. That's Forgiving Spirit. Cutting back should give him a little bit more punch in here. So I think he can sit just off. If you can eliminate that last race on May the 27th for him, he's going to drop, get a little class relief, and cuts back in distance. So I think he'll have a little more punch. The 4, one of the horses to beat, the horse to catch. This guy comes out of some races where they were flying early on, and XY Speed is facing turf graded stakes company this week over at Gulfstream Park. The 3, Seismic Spirit's another one that just makes sense. These are like logical horses in here, but I'll sort of stack them with the 7 or with the 6, Forgiving Spirit, and the 1 as my top 2 horses. Maybe we can get a little value there with What Makes Sammy Run in some of the multis. Let's move to race number 3. This one's a first level allowance, going 5.5 on the dirt. I'm going to shift towards the outside. You have the horse coming off a long layoff For All Mankind. He's going to be pretty tough in here, just based on the draw and the kind of running style he has, if he's able to just sit off, because he's better than this group. I did think the 5 is interesting because his first 2 races, he was in loaded fields against nice horses, Nick Parenting and Eagles Flight. And so once he got away from those horses and he was able to get and establish a lead last time out, he won, and that was sprinting on the turf. I'm not sure if it was as much about surface as it was maybe just getting that trip facing a little bit of a softer group. So I think he might be able to outrun his odds in here. The 4, Manitowish, another one who fits pretty well at the level. Just looking at the races back on December 10th at Los Al, that would fit in some of these races at Santa Anita last year. They all are comparable from a class perspective. Maybe we can get a little value with the 5, Corso's pick in the mix there somewhere. Race number 4, I like the 7, Cathal. There is not a lot of speed in this race at all. The 5, Nesso's Last Hurrah, is the horse to catch. Not even positive if he really wants to go this far. I could see Cathal with the blinkers on, just by default, being a lot closer in here. I thought his June 1st race was very good. So I'm expecting him to be involved early, not on the lead, but maybe he can sit 3rd from the outside, just because there is not much as far as tactical speed in this field. Let's continue on at Santa Anita, or Del Mar, excuse me. We're just talking about some races coming from Santa Anita. We're up to race number 5 at Del Mar on Saturday. And this is the big question in the Sorrento. Who can sit off? Because all of these fillies just showed speed in their debuts and in their wins. White Sands has won twice, beat the boys over at Prairie Meadows. She's actually cross-entered on Sunday as well. in the other 2-year-old stakes race against the boys. I like Vodka with the twist just because of the foundation. She has the 3 races. She's drawn towards the outside. So I think if anyone can sit a little bit, it might be her. Nooney is pretty tough, as is Cassaloo, but I'll lean towards Vodka with the twist and give that one a little bit of an endorsement. Continuing along up to race number 6 at Del Mar. I like the 3 in here, Sea of Cortez, in this spot. This is a horse who had legitimate trouble on November the 26th and on January the 7th. October 1st and June 15th races were really good. The career debut going a mile on the synthetic, this horse missed by just a neck. So you have a victory, 2 races where he just missed, and then a couple other races where he had legitimate traffic. Now he'll go second start off the bench, stretching out a little bit, and that's fine because he actually looks visually like a horse who wants to go a little bit longer, and he ran really well in his debut going a little longer. So thought the 3 at a price, Sea of Cortez, we use along with the speed of the 2, Belmont Bill, Jewel Shillelagh, and Neshoba's Joy, who should come running if there's any pace at all in here. So those are some of the runners we're looking at in race number 6. As we move to the late pick 4 sequence, we're looking at race number 7, as we've got Calbred Maiden Special Weights going 5.5 furlongs. This race is a little bit tricky because you just don't have a whole lot to go off of. You have a lot of first-time starters in here, some that I thought were working pretty well on XBTV, and then I'm going to include the number 9, Silverado Storm for Luis Mendez. Does a really good job with these young horses and 2-year-olds in particular. Like the way this one was working in the mornings. The 7, Speedy Wilson. This barn is getting a lot better recently with first-time starters. This Dam won the debut, and both siblings were winners. I thought a major player. The number 5, Hothead. The July 28th work was pretty solid for Glatt. Those would most likely be my top few, with 9, 7, and 5. Others that I would look for, the ones with experience. Charms Away was good in the debut and then just didn't get involved at all in that second start. Was actually favored that day. Kind of bouncing around in the starting gate too, so maybe he was just fractious. I think you want to throw him into a spot or two. 9-7-5-4. I mean, others that wouldn't shock in a wide open race. The 1, Style Cat, who just might be in a little tough though with a rail draw. You also have towards the outside, the 8, Drop the Bit, and the 10, War is Hell. Neither one of them would shock me for very capable first out barns. It's a challenging race, and it kicks off the late pick 4. It's in the middle of those late exotics. Drop the Bit, 15-1. I'm going to go 9-7-5. It's my top tier. Let's move to race number 8. It's the grade 2 Yellow Ribbon. Anisette, no doubt the horse to beat. The one I'm going to use in a few spots, though, and I think will show up with a good effort, is the number 6, Ever Smart. These are just not that much speed, early speed signed on in this race. It's probably Bella Bell and Ever Smart. Ever Smart will stretch out from 5 furlongs to 1 mile and a 16th. From a class standpoint, probably this level seems a little tough for her, but from a speed figure standpoint, she actually fits pretty well with a lot of this group, and she could be getting a nice trip in a small field at a big price, second start off the bench. So I'm going to give her a look. I'm going to throw her in the mix with Anisette, probably some tickets with Bella Bell too, because if either one of these horses get out front, they could be pretty tough. I respect Uncorked. I just don't know if she'll get the kind of trip she needs in here. She's been a little deeper of a closer as of late, so she'll probably have to sit closer than maybe she wants to. Moving to race number 9. 5.5 furlongs, 12,005 non-winners of 2. Number 3, Pop Dioro. Fits really well because he's shown that he can sit off, he can pass horses, he has a little bit of punch, but he's also shown that tactical positional speed so he can stay involved, because they could be going pretty quick in here with the horse from the inside, fast. You've got, the 5, Pat's Paddock pick. I don't think we'll be too far out of it. The big Chizola wants to go. Devil Among Us is very quick, as is Picking It Up. Golden Sunrise, very, very fast. Same thing with the 12 Accelerate to the outside, just coming out of quicker and shorter races. So I'm looking for horses that can sit off a little bit, have some punch. That's 6 Damasio is another one I'm going to use from a class standpoint. He's faced better. He hasn't been running really well as of late. Just going to get a better trip in here. We'll throw Damasio in. The 8 Devil Among Us is probably one of the better speeds in here. And the 5 would be another to include Pat's Paddock pick because he may be able to sit off a bit. And then moving to the 10th and final, one of the better plays of the day for me is the number 3, Wimberley. This horse's dam was a grade 1 winner, was a multiple graded stakes winner. And her 2 races make a lot of sense. She had legitimate trouble in her career debut back in April going 6 furlongs on the turf. She was down inside. She had nowhere to go. She got pushed back repeatedly. She stayed inside. She got room. Then a tiring rival made things tough for her. It was a sneaky good effort. She was off for a few months. She shows back up on July the 5th at Los Alamitos, and it's kind of merry-go-round race for her. She got the race off the bench. Now she can take a little step forward in here. She gets back to the grass, and I think she's really, really well spotted. Wimberley, the number 3. The 7, Not a Sinner. It's been a beaten favorite 3 times, but again, will likely be the horse to beat. The 6, Miracle Ball, first-time starter that's shown some ability in the mornings. The 10, Kaylin Dana, blinkers coming on. She hasn't really run poorly in any of her races, and she's shown some tactical speed last time out. A couple starts back, she passed horses. Like, she's just shown us different. She's shown us some versatility that she can do different things. So she's going to be in the mix for me too. The 8, Rich of Joy, intriguing horse coming out of a very live debut race. Best of luck on Saturday over at Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf. Remember, anything you need, head to shop.drf.com every racing day at Saratoga and Del Mar. There are clocker reports to help you out with first-time starters, horses coming off of a long layoff. Just want to make sure that you have all the tools you need to succeed when you're playing the races at Del Mar. Good luck on Saturday. Hope you crush it.